All right, no, good practice today in pads, a little bit warmer today, so that's good, good conditioning weather. We're doing two things right now. We're getting ready for this game against the Vikings, and we're getting ready for week one, so I thought today was a good step toward that.
Frank, the walkie-talkie or whatever that Carson has on his hip going to his ear, is he listening to the play call as it's
Yeah.
going in?
It's taking the place of a helmet, so he's kind of hearing the same thing in the helmet, and he's been really engaged out there, interacting with the quarterbacks, interacting with Scott and Marcus and myself, about what he's seeing. We're talking about plays. Hey, can I do this? Hey, boom, just talking through progressions, what we see, what the defenses are, game planning. How do we think about this? It's good interaction.
How much does that help him from a mental aspect as he's trying to prepare here?
Yeah, it's really good, right? We all know all of us have been around this for a long time. We know there's something about the visualization and the mental reps that you get that really we talk about. Put yourself in the moment, right? It's Jim Caldwell used to say that all the time, to me with Peyton, that there was nobody better at putting himself in the moment than Peyton Manning. Like feeling like you're in a Super Bowl, that even though you're standing behind the line of scrimmage, you're not even in on the rep. Do you have the ability to get a mental rep and make it feel like you're in the game? And I think Carson's doing a good job of that.
Frank, Marcus talked about yesterday Jacob having a little bit more confidence on the field. Sometimes that happens with young guys when they go out and play pretty well in the preseason. How do you coach that? How do you teach that? Is it just something that needs to organically happen?
Yeah, I think it organically happens. I think it is true. I think he came out here feeling good, feeling a little bit more confident, and you could feel that on the field yesterday, and you could feel it today. So that's the kind of thing that you got to build on. And right, every quarterback goes through it, and then you're going to go through that, and then you're going to hit another spell, and then you got to be able to bounce back from that spell. So it's all part of the maturation process, with the QB. But Jacob's showing all the right signs.
They're in 7-on-7 today. Again, we're far away. It's hard to tell. But it looked like you were a little frustrated with what was going on. Was there anything?
No, there was. Oh, okay. Yeah, there was one play I was frustrated on. We just made a mental error on something that I thought we would have had a big play on. But that's going to happen when you run as many plays as we run. I'm not happy about it, but yeah, that was what was going on there.
You guys have. I don't know how you guys are going to do the next two preseason games. I'm sure you guys are working through that. When do you want to have this figured out? Like in your head, if you have it lined up perfectly, when do you want to know who your starter is? Is it 2 weeks before so you can give them both of them need rest, whether it's Carson coming back or Jacob or so?
I think in the perfect world, going into the last preseason game. I think in the perfect world, that would be the situation. But I don't know if it'll be that. I can't promise that that's going to be the case. It may take the third preseason game to figure that out. So we're just going to, Chris and I and the staff will just continue to evaluate it day by day. The good thing is that it's a hard decision. Both guys are doing well. So, we'll see how it goes this week. We'll evaluate it next week and take it day by day.
Frank, I got a two-part question for you. A, do you feel like Carson's getting antsy to be out there? We've seen a number of times him, doing, drop backs and, imitating the quarterbacks as they go out there. Do you get that sense that he's kind of chomping at the bit to get back?
Yeah, 100%, Mike. He's getting very antsy, and, got a hold. He's wanting to push the envelope as I would expect, and but he's got to be patient and just stay focused on the mental side of it right now, and we got to let things take their course. But at the same time, there's a time to push things, and we'll keep doing that as it's appropriate.
And as a staff, do you guys, feel like you need to get to a target date to say he needs to be by this date? We need to know if he's going to be ready for week one. Have you guys set a date like that, or how are you guys approaching that?
Yeah, no. Actually, Kevin asked me that question yesterday on the radio show, and no, very relevant question. And what I said to him, as I think is really true, even after I've thought about, when we talked about it, was that in the perfect world, we have a really good idea after that third preseason game, and Carson would get to work 2 weeks going into the first game. That's the perfect world. The next perfect world is he only gets to work the game week, okay? And but I don't know if that's going to happen. It could be week 2, week 3. That's still to be determined. He has not pushed it. Everything's going well, but we have not pushed it yet. And so we're going to have to wait till we get to the point where we push it and see how things respond. And we just don't want to do that too soon, too fast. But ideally, Mike, long-winded answer to, I'd really, in my perfect world, I'd love for him to get 2 weeks of solid work. Maybe the second week or the first week of practice, maybe not 100% the whole time, but still getting a lot. And then, but you got to go in game week ready to go. I mean, you have to go in game week ready to go.
You've always taken that approach with guys who've had lengthy absences. I mean, that has to apply here too then?
It has to apply, and especially even more so because it's the first game of the year. And that's the approach we're taking.
Frank, a couple more?
Frank, go ahead, sorry.
2 weeks enough? Or is that just the best of what you got? I mean,
yeah, I think it's enough. I
for
mean,
a guy coming to a new team and only 2 days.
yeah, I mean, I think it is enough because it has to be enough. And I think Carson's taking that approach. I think we're taking that approach. You know, he'll get some walkthrough reps. He got walkthrough reps, you know, yesterday. So he'll start to do that and get as many of those mental reps as we can. And if he's able to, go. But there's a lot that has to be determined for that to happen.
Carson spent so much time in the offseason working on chemistry with the receivers, and we've seen him talking to the guys about like specific things. It looks like how is that process furthering now?
Yeah, it's just continuing to develop, and there's no shortcuts. You know, he's doing a good job. Like today out there, there was a route that Mike Strom was running, and you know, and on the angle you want to just come out a little bit higher because I need a little bit more space. Or hey, when you're in that break, just take 2 more steps in that revolution. I'm not going to be ready to throw the ball. Or hey, just bring that out a little flatter on that. Those are the little side conversations that him being that where he's not doing rehab, where he's out here on the field, talking to them, talking to the O-line about checking things in the run game, that kind of thing is very valuable.
Frank, how do you compare
last one here.
in terms of, you know, Sam will play with the starters this week and then Jacob will play with and against backups. How do you in your mind kind of weigh those two things, because it's not exactly equal?
Yeah, it's not equal. And it's a great question because, you know, as a former backup, I've faced a lot of those scenarios, and you can't, there's no way to make it apples to apples. So we just got to use our best judgment, understand all the dynamics that are at place, and you got to make the best with what you have at that time. That's part of the evaluation.
It might make you play him, I mean, one of them in the 3rd preseason game. I don't know if you'll treat that like you used to treat the 4th, but you might have to, right?
Yeah, no, I would think so. I would think in the 3rd preseason game, all 3 of those quarterbacks are going to play.
Quick, have you decided on starters for Saturday? For Saturday? How many will play?
As far as our starters? Yeah, I mean, for the most part, we'll have most of our guys, not all of our starters will start. There's going to be a couple that don't play, not many, but most of our starters will play.